People who've been single for a long time, how do you deal with the lack of intimacy? I call people names on the internet, so I know what it's like to have social interactions with other humans. Bitch. Duck you too bitch. Sobs inconsolably in the corner. Power move. Cast consolation. Never miss something you never had. Yup. Makes it hard to have healthy relationships, even non-romantic, though. I've definitely conditioned myself to be closed off with everyone. Every possible romantic idea I have is shut down by I don't have time for this, and I want to be your friend. Suppress it. I'm in my 30s and have never dated. Nothing. It sucks. Same. But suppressing it isn't working anymore. There's days I'm fine and there's days I'm so frustrated. COVID is no help either. Never been hugged, except from my mother, so I don't know what I'm missing. I feel ya my friend. Me, I've just had my friends over the years hug me. So I kinda cow what you're feeling. Bold of you to assume ideal. Yeah. Ideal by wishing I was dead all day and crying myself to sleep every night. I'm in this comment and I don't like it. I'm an introvert, so I guess it's easier for me. All I have to do is occasionally masturbate and occasionally meditate. That keeps me happy enough sexually and mentally. Every once in a while I try to pick up a lady. For maximum efficiency you should attempt both simultaneously. Masturbate. Medibate. Living vicariously through the shows and music, also smoking and drinking a shit ton. But realistically it gets really lonely. Especially at night, when you have all these thoughts and no one to tell them to. But my dog is what keeps me sane. IDK what I would do without him. He's my best friend. Sometimes it's hard to find things to watch, because everything has romance and sex in it, and it reminds me of what I'm missing so much and just ends up making me feel worse. One of these days, someone is going to find a way to reliably connect all of us similar people together, so we can finally find companionship. It's funny. I'm in a relationship now, but was single for a long time. When I was single I filled my life doing all the things I aspire to do once again. Now that I'm in a relationship, I just don't have the time. I've been married for 4 years now, but I always find the time to do what I love. It's important to have your own lives filled with things that you love for a healthy long-last relationship. I used to be a serial monogamist. Been single for like 8 years now. I've lost track. Honestly, I'm happier being single than I ever was in a relationship. I get the emotional intimacy that I need from friendships, and these days I haven't really craved physical intimacy. I have so much that I want to do in my free time that it makes trying to fit a relationship into my life feel like a hassle. Exactly where I am. I dated from 15 to 21 and haven't really since 27 now, and I can't imagine fitting a relationship in. I barely have enough time for me. Right? Like I know and respect that everyone's needs are different. But the thought of being in a relationship plus having kids, like when would I ever sleep? Let alone have time for myself. P.S. I love working with kids, they're the best. But dang, I love coming home to no one and being able to do what I want when I want. Lol. I'm pretty introverted, so the lack of companionship doesn't bother me that much. I have a few close friends and talk to each of them about once every 6 weeks or so, and I interact with people from work fairly regularly. Plus I have my parents and siblings whom I talk to often, so I really don't lack the social interaction I need. An ideal night for me is just watching YouTube / playing Switch / ducking around on Reddit. So being single is kind of a nice fit. As far as sex goes, I found it's helpful to try to think of masturbation as a form of self-love, as opposed to just a utilitarian crank it out way of getting temporary relief. If you love yourself, and you try to view self-pleasure as an expression of that love, it can satisfy you on an emotional level as well as physically. I'm not going to lie and pretend that masturbation is as good as regular sex, except in a handful of cases where it's really good. But it can be a lot more emotionally powerful than you'd think if you use it in the right way. I'm going through a divorce now. I was married for 8 years. And honestly the thought of being alone forever is terrifying to me. I don't do well being by myself. We are our best versions when we are alone and on our own feet, buddy. Thank you. It's been interesting learning about myself again. It'll be cool to see where I'm at a year from now. Denial, my friend. The answer is denial. Cry yourself to sleep and imagine that someone is listening. I don't. Not really. It makes me depressed and suicidal. I do everything I can to not feel like that. Therapy, diet, exercise, medication, etc. But the lack of intimacy on top of generally being very lonely makes me feel like something important is missing from my life and it's preventing me from being happy. I don't deal. I hate being single. The loneliness is too much at times. In the same way, I had a big old meltdown and cried eating dinner at my kitchen table alone after successfully cooking my first meal on my new barbecue. I felt so lonely not having anyone to share the meal with. I haven't eaten at my kitchen table since. If you're anywhere near Calgary, I'll drive over and eat your barbecue. If not, don't give up. I've been focused on other types of love and intimacy, new friendships, love of family, and the intimate relationships I have that are not romantic nor physical, but they are definitely intimate. Self-love, especially, both in terms of caring for myself by hydrating, eating, sleeping, creating, and also in terms of masturbation. It has been nice getting to know myself more in that way, and it keeps my head clear, which helps me maintain boundaries with friends. It is easier to get distracted by physical attraction when I haven't gotten off recently. Close bracket. I'm 29 and I've been single now for 9 years. In the past couple of years I've managed to be intimate with 2 women, and it feels like it's given me a new breadth of life in terms of confidence. However, before that there were days or weeks I yearned for nothing more than to have someone, and it was painful. The longer it got, the less confidence I had. The more I judged myself. The more I looked down on myself. Then there could be weeks or months that it wouldn't even cross my mind, and I was content being alone. What I'm trying to say is that it varies day by day, sometimes good, sometimes bad. It's not really about dealing with it. It's more like you have no choice and time just keeps on passing, and you just have to try to remain hopeful. That's my view anyway. By making horrible decisions that end up hurting me and causing more loneliness in the long run. Mail literally same. Spend a shitload of money on my hobbies and tell myself that it makes me just as happy as having someone to love. Then cry myself to sleep almost every night hugging a pillow as I think back to how I was actually happy when falling asleep next to someone who loved me as much as I loved them and waking up to their smiling face. Then I wake up and go to work and act like I don't feel like there's a black hole in my chest. Focusing way too much at work and in the moments of leisure detaching from reality. Binge watching shows on Netflix mindlessly, retaining nothing, just keeping at it to keep thoughts from coming. Sounds like my life these past few months. I hug my dog Gallet. My wife died 9 years ago. We had a wonderful, dynamic, intimate relationship. I was the happiest I've ever been in my life. She seemed to feel that way too. Her family told me she had never been happier, and then she was gone. At the urging of friends and family, I tried dating a year or so after she passed. After 4 or so odd years of that, it had enough. I recently ended a platonic relationship with a lady I met during that time after several years of trying and failing to work through her intimacy issues. That all said, the lockdown has hardened me even more. I'm comfortable alone. I've given up. I never thought things would end up this way, but here I am. It used to terrify me, but I'm good with it now. I'm sorry for your loss. It's awesome you've managed to keep going all this time. I hope you cross paths with someone else you can be as close with. Username checks out. Cheers. I don't care all that much. I've already accepted that most aspects of me mean I will never be in a long-term relationship, and I've gotten over it. Why? I'm genuinely curious. I'm physically unattractive. I have a really mediocre personality. I'm uninteresting. I'm not interested in most people. I'm not trusting of most people. I have social anxiety. I have ADHD, which makes it difficult to tell if when I'm interested in somebody it's real or just a hyperfixation, and a whole lot of other reasons. Dream about being with someone and wake up somehow lonelier than ever before. Hookups and arrangements. I'm single. I'm not having fun. Well, you are doing a lot better than most of us. A hookup or a FWB situation is not coming my way anytime soon. Oh thanks. It's fine but can get complicated. I'm very upfront with it is what it is. And have zero expectations of continuity. I'd prefer to be in a real thing but it is what it is. It's not that deep. People need to learn how to be alone and love themselves rather than waste all their energy on somebody who may not even be there 12 months later. Yes, I was told early on in life that 2 half people don't make a whole. You have to be happy with yourself being single if you want a relationship with another person to work. So I embrace and enjoy being single, and the few relationships I do get into don't last longer than they should. Hookers. The dam finally broke and I hooked up with an ex from 13 years ago. I just wanted to be touched, even for a short period of time. I had been single for 3 years since my ex, and I broke up, and she killed herself. Sex and intimacy are not the same thing. Porn and toys take care of the one, and 1 or 2 good platonic friends, the kind you can call at 4 o'clock in the morning, take care of the other. I focus on how terrible people are, and how much I have to sacrifice and risk being hurt by liars and cheaters. The cost is too great for the little I get in return. I'm 30, been single for 30 years. Ducking sucks. I have no idea how I should feel or behave around someone I like. Any attraction I have shown gets pushed away. Yup. Know that feeling. Lem know if you find a solution. For me, it's just something I have gotten used to by now. But honestly, I will admit that I kinda hate being single and all. Try to stay busy and drink lol. For real. I've had a hard time dealing. Never had a long-term relationship. As much as I like sex, I really just want a cuddle or a great hug. I've got no problem finding someone to have sex with, but I'm not interested in that. Cuddling with my cat really helped. But she died a year and a half ago, and I can't bring myself to get another one. That's life though, and my time for companionship will come. Memes and media. Very badly. I swipe on Tinder for half hour, watch porn and jack off. Then I hug my pillow until I fall asleep. You've just described my nightly routine. Well, to put it simple, I don't. I try not to think about it. After some time it is possible. But there are moments when some form of physical contact appears. Let's say my female friend hugs me, and that crave for intimacy comes back for a couple of days. I have a cat. I cuddle him every day. It helps a bit. But this is something else. To be honest, I'm at the point where I expect I'll never experience it again. I know I'm nothing to look at, and I'm now in my 50s. So I feel like I'm the invisible man when it comes to women noticing me. Porn. Body pillow, not of anything. Just the feeling of holding it at night is comforting. By going out and filming different lifts is my hobby. IDK, what connotation of intimacy you mean here? I have very good relationships with my friends and family, where we have deep conversations, cuddle, have inside jokes, etc. I have a lot of relationships that give me emotional intimacy. As far as the other connotation, I'm very good at getting myself off lol. Getting yourself off doesn't provide physical intimacy though. Cry. Alcoholism. I'm fine with it. Society tries to impose love on us. Whenever my mind goes there, I remind myself it isn't worth it. There are so many people in unhappy relationships. The worst are when kids are involved. Like Robin Williams implied, it's better to be alone than be with someone who makes you feel lonely. Also, I'm pretty cut and dry. Relationships are unnecessarily complicated. I suspect it's because most people think they need others to be happy. When I had others I was happy, and when I pursue other things that I think will make me happy, they don't. Not really sure what else to think at this point. I'm my own best friend. I wasn't always like this, but you adapt after a while. I'm inadvertently more attractive by not trying to win others' approval. Maybe for the right person, I'll make an exception. I'm not anti-relationships, but until that time comes, I remain indifferent. I've been married for 14 years and I can testify that you don't have to be single to experience a lack of intimacy. If you're lucky, though, the friendship will still be there, and as others have noted, for intimacy, there's porn. If I want intimacy, porn doesn't cut it. I jerk off almost every day like an idiot and wish someone would just hug me for a minute straight and tell me I'm worthy of love. Lexi Bellin really weird. Yeah, that's the entire reason I'm single. Also, I have shit to get together. I don't know whether it belongs in a shit museum or if I should take it to a shit store and unsell it, but I definitely need to put it in one place so that it's together. Hey, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.